ready to have fun tonight. I have done a lot of prep for the night show, and I have much to say. Who's kind of sick and tired of the shit going on in this country? I think we should address that tonight. Yeah. Share with others on Facebook before Facebook bans me again. You're going to love the show, guys. Look at all the people already joining me. Felix, Steve, Greg, Pam, Nick, all you guys. We're going to have some fun tonight. Yes, we are. So let's get this going, shall we? In 3, 2, 1. Hello, it is Rob Carson, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you joining me tonight. This is Rob Carson's What in the World? Let me get this out of my face here, because I know you want to see my pretty face. Wow, how many times have I been called racist today? This is pretty interesting. I mean, I feel like I'm maybe, a racist in history. Maybe I'm Orville Faubus or something. I have no idea. I have been called racist so many times because I've been making fun of this Bubba Wallace and the idiotic claim that somebody hung a noose in his stall at Talladega. I kind of want to watch Ricky Bobby. I really want to watch that movie tonight. I'm gonna hair getting. So wow, and here's the amazing thing: lynchings aren't happening in this country. Black on white lynchings are not happening in the country. They're not happening. And so every time you hear a story of a noose showing up somewhere, it's a lie. Okay, it's a lie. And originally, when I saw the story of Bubba Wallace, NASCAR driver, and there's a noose in his stall, and the immediate reaction from the media was that white trash NASCAR fans who are all racist and go to KKK rallies, that they were it was an easy stereotype to move forward, and consequently the media ate it up. And the amazing thing is that, everybody thought the worst of NASCAR fans. Everybody thought the worst. The people who work with Bubba, man, they're in the pit crew. They're a bunch of racists. They don't like black people. They're driving cars. They don't like it, man. It's not good. No, bullshit. If anybody was in NASCAR, they were celebrating, man, hey, a black guy wants to be a NASCAR driver. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Had sponsors, ready to roll. Love it. Love it. But, of course, that wasn't enough for the media. No. You had to forward the narrative that everybody in NASCAR, every NASCAR fan, they love their Confederate flags, and by God, they love their racism and their white supremacy, and they, honestly, seriously, if they were really that racist and Bubba Wallace was in a race, don't you suppose they'd be like, man, I ain't going to watch that. I ain't going to watch that. There's a black guy in that race. Stupid. I decided to wear headphones tonight. I don't care. I'm so done with this shit. So done with this BS. We saw it on the University of Missouri campus. There's a noose in a tree. Every time. It's fake. Nobody's doing nooses. No racist is lynch. The lynchings are not happening, okay? That's a product of the past. It's a terrifying product of the past, but dear God in heaven, it's over. Get over it. It's not happening. It didn't happen in NASCAR, but thank you for thinking the worst. NASCAR, thank you for thinking the worst of your fans. Thank you for thinking the worst of people who work with Bubba Wallace. Thank you so much for making him a victim, even though he's not a victim. It's probably been better off in his life than most of us have. Such nonsense. Here is Rowdy Maglite. He did the video footage of the supposed noose, the noose at Bubba Wallace's car stalled at Talladega. Here it is, right there. There's the noose. It's coming up. Media, there it is. Okay, there. The symbol of hate that, nobody noticed. Do you notice everybody's not noticing? Probably they don't notice it because they're all white people, and they just wanted to lynch him right there. Yeah, it's a noose. And actually, no, that's how they pull the door down. It's a handle actually for the door there, because not everybody can have a garage door opener. You see. Yeah, there's the noose, supposedly, that nobody was affected by. Nobody was shrieking in horror going, "Oh, my God, it's a noose. They want to hang Bubba Wallace." No. Hello, Robin and Paul and Ben and all you guys. And let's check the other page. Hello, Jesse and Richard and all that. Yeah, Jesse's making a comment about the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts, they're probably racist because they did nooses. They did loops and stuff. They did, whatever. Here's a montage of the media thinking the worst of people who watch NASCAR. And then this is literally honestly, this is the narrative that everybody wanted to hear, that that white people are so racist. This is Mississippi burning all over again. This is everything we dreamed of, and this is everything we've said about NASCAR fans. This is every East Coast and West Coast liberal saying that white NASCAR people who watch NASCAR, people who listen to country music, they are all white trash. They hate black people. This is exactly what they wanted to hear. This is so effing disgusting. This is worse than pitchforks and torches around a castle. Watch this sickening effing montage of liberal elites calling people who are hardworking, who just happen to kind of like watching cars go around a track and occasionally crash, and calling them absolute reprobate racists.
NASCAR is investigating a horrible incident.
A horrifying, racist, jarring, disturbing,
Heinous, perverted,
ugly,
cowardly,
dreadful,
hateful,
stunning, shocking, appalling, disgusting reminder of who, again, this sport is for.
The sport is for racists. So she has just said that the sport of NASCAR is for racists who want to lynch a black man.
A noose found in the garage stall of Bubba Wallace.
Obviously, this is completely...
Now, here's this doofus, idiot, moron who probably has never seen a NASCAR race, but he has made his assumptions. He's probably a liberal academic, and he is immediately going to say that all of you people who like NASCAR are racists who want to kill a black man who is the first black driver in NASCAR.
Appalling. But do you think it's surprising?
No, it's not surprising.
It's not surprising at all. Oh, of course. I was watching MSNBC this weekend, and I was listening to NPR. It does not surprise me at all. What is this, NASCAR? What is it, Lab Car? I don't even know.
Oh,
and NASCAR is often considered a sport.
Look at all the books there behind him. They're all black authors. I see, pretty much. Yeah, he's got an agenda.
That is tethered to white folk.
Notice they're all facing, the ones that they're facing.
Tethered to the South.
The Confederate flag in a sport that is overwhelmingly white and certainly dominant among Southerners.
And NASCAR has been trying to somewhat move away from it. And I say somewhat in kind of air quotes.
They were going to remove Confederate imagery. To think that that's going to happen in a span of 2 weeks after all that NASCAR has been for.
You probably don't even know what NASCAR stands for.
All of its existence is foolish.
NASCAR has stood all of its existence for racism, okay?
I mean,
that's why there's so many sponsors for it.
Cynicism and sadness is that it's just not shocking to anybody.
As much as NASCAR may try to distance itself from that, it's...
Look, she's a San Francisco 49er fan. I bet she's from San Francisco.
A living, breathing part of their sport.
Oh, she's from the Atlantic. Okay, never mind.
We need to understand that racism continues to be the underbelly of American society.
I mean, that this happens in the year 2020 is just beyond belief.
Let's just remember that until
the amazing thing is, it didn't happen.
2 weeks, NASCAR endorsed and embraced this sort of performative racism.
No, NASCAR didn't. Doofus, I don't know what your name is. You have no idea.
Week in and week out by embracing and wrapping itself in the Confederate flag.
Okay, thank you, Grabian News, for that wonderful montage. It's quite lovely. I'm going to put in my other headphones because I think they would look better. You can see my awesome face. Hold on. Excuse me. You're going to get to see a little bit behind the scenes here with regard to the Rob Carson show. Yeah. No, wrong side. Hello, Jack. Hello, Paul Chappa. How are you guys? Glad to have you here. There we go. This will be better. You won't be able to see the cans. How's that? All right. So I've got a lot of stuff to get to here. Let's get to it. This is beyond insulting. My family, honestly, we are pretty much white trash, I guess. We like NASCAR. I'm not a big NASCAR dude. It's not my deal. I know it's hard to believe I'm white and I'm not into it. But NASCAR is not racist. It's people who get together and they don't even give a crap. They don't even give a crap who's watching. They don't care who's if there's a black driver, Bubba Wallace. They're thrilled about it. I mean, my God, they're like, oh my God, this is great. So now they're barrier. Somebody's kicking down the door and saying, hey man, I'm a black athlete. You want to call people who drive NASCAR an athlete? It's awesome. Unfortunately, Bubba Wallace decided to play victim on this, and that's really where he is. People are going to be done with him because Bubba Wallace decided to play along with the people who thought the worst of NASCAR fans, of people who work in the pits. I mean, he thought of it. The whole thing on the face of it is absolutely patently absurd. Absolutely patently absurd, created to fit a narrative, a hateful, awful, racist narrative about white people who watch NASCAR. That's what it's all about. Here is Bubba Smith with Don Lemon, of all people, basically saying, yeah, all of my fans are racist and NASCAR is racist, and yeah, I'm a victim.
I've been racing all my life. We've raced out of hundreds of garages that never had garage pools like that. So people that want to call it a garage pool.
Now, he has since recanted this and said, good job, FBI.
Pool, and put out old videos and photos of knots being...
But honestly, dude, you really sold your soul on this one. You went to CNN, you went to Don Lemon to be a victim, even though you're not a victim, even though you've had plenty of support. You've had people who say, hey, man, I want you to succeed. And you played this card. You played the race card. Honestly,
in their evidence, go ahead. But from the evidence that we have, that I have, it's a straight up noose.
There's no evidence. 15 FBI agents were sent to your car stall. There's no evidence. You are playing victim. You decided to play along with the popular culture, the popular medium, and piss on your sponsors, on your fans, on everybody who worked there.
The FBI has stated it was a noose over and over again. NASCAR leadership has stated that it was a noose. I can confirm that. I actually got evidence of what was hanging in my garage, over my car, around my pit crew guys, to confirm that it was a noose. And never seen anything like it.
You're full of crap, dude. You're full of crap. Let me see if we can find the big show of solidarity that he had from everybody here. Where's the show of solidarity? Everybody gathered around him. See if we can find it here. I had it, but there were people who got together and they marched behind him, and there were tears shed and all of this stuff, and he played like he was some sort of victim, and it was all a lie. Yeah, here it is. Here it is, right here. It was all a lie. They're all the what is that? Is that gas fumes in the air or just white guilt? So everybody got together, all these people, all these pit crews and everybody, because this man was discriminated against because there was a noose in his stall of his car, and there wasn't. The FBI said no, pretty much just a rope that everybody uses in all of their stall doors. But there you go. So honestly. Bubba Smollett. I'm going to call him Bubba Smollett. You knew it. You played it. You thought the worst of everything. You thought the worst of your fans. You thought the worst of people who work at NASCAR. You thought the worst of NASCAR. And so I'm going to say, bye-bye. Done. Don't act like a victim. You're not a victim. You've never been a victim. Okay? You were quite successful. Oh, Bubba was also on The View, I guess. He was on The View. That was good. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Chris. How are you, my friend? All you guys, glad to have you joining me. Of course, Al Sharpton had to chime in because he hasn't been to a funeral lately where he capitalized on the death of a black person at the hands of police, whether it was justified or not. But here he is talking about Bubba Smollett.
The FBI identified it as a noose. NASCAR said it was a noose or went along with the FBI.
Yeah, the FBI said it wasn't a noose, you ass.
Guy's characterization. It was a noose. So the question is, even if they did not know that Bubba Wallace was going to use that stall,
not a noose.
Why was a noose in the stall?
Wasn't
It's
a noose.
clear what a noose represents.
No, it's not a noose.
And I think to go whether or not they knew that sooner or later the one black driver...
This guy can barely put together a cogent thought, let alone a sentence. And the only reason he has a career is because people are so terrified of him.
...would use that stall really doesn't answer why it was in the stall at all.
Well, it was a rope with a loop to pull down the door there, yeah.
And then did someone know that it was in the stall when they did belatedly assign Bubba there? So I don't think this answers a lot of questions.
How much that suit costs? Probably a couple $1,000.
And clearly from what we just saw of Bubba Wallace, it does not seem he who is the victim and possible.
No, he's not a victim at all, actually. He's not. He's a quite wealthy person who's living the American dream. Living the American dream. And there are a lot of people in the country who are not living the American dream. Even white people. Yeah, a lot of people are suffering. A lot of people out of work. Even white people. I know. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, let's move on to something kind of weird here. This is pretty crazy. Been a lot of violence going around the country. This is a guy in New York City. 36-year-old man stabbed in a street in Harlem on Tuesday at 11:56 a.m. in the morning. He and another woman had a verbal dispute with an unidentified assailant. And apparently they got into a little fight. And this is what. And by the way, a little shocking footage. But here he is walking to paramedics. Yeah, warning. He's got a knife in his head. He's got a knife. Literally, got a knife in his head. Look, okay. Wow. That looks like a Halloween costume. Let's see the longer version of the knife in the head story. Watch this. So there's the fight. Looking at the phone there. There's a woman walking away. Presumably the one to put the knife in the guy's head. Where is he? There he is, knife in the head. Is there something here? Did I spill? Is there? Yeah, dude, you've got something there. It's yeah, there's a knife in your head. Oh, well, thank God. I thought it was broccoli in my teeth. That would have been really embarrassing. Really embarrassing. Yeah, he's a 34-year-old. A woman was slashed in the cheek. 4 unidentified males and 1 unidentified female snatched her purse. Male victim got into a verbal dispute with the unidentified assailant, and apparently he was stabbed. So somebody was... he was trying to save somebody, and he got stabbed in the head. Carol says, I'm disgusted with the Iowa Hawkeyes are going to take a knee. Yeah, you know what? F the Hawkeyes if they're going to do that shit. F them. Do. So a Democrat, Wisconsin State Senator Tim Carpenter went to a BLM protest in Madison. Anyway, he was heading in there, decided he wanted to videotape it. He got attacked. Apparently, there was a woman who saw him taping their protest, and they went after him and beat him, bruised his eye, fractured his nose. Here is the senator apparently videotaping this thing. Okay, I would not even be worried about that approaching me. I'd be like, bam, right in the face. Well, these are the Bolsheviks in charge, kids. Anyway, he was hurt. Activists there tore down 2 statues, including one of Colonel Hans Christian Hegg, a Norwegian immigrant and abolitionist who died fighting for the Union. Because apparently statue's bad. Here's an asshole named Devonair Johnson. And he was in Madison, and he went after somebody on the street, decided to get in his face with a baseball bat. because apparently he believes that a white Jesus is a terrible thing. They're going after white Jesus now. Here is Devonair Johnson before the police got a hold of him. Now, he's following a guy into the restaurant. He doesn't know the guy. I don't know what he said to the guy, but apparently this guy wanted to pick a fight with this gentleman. You hate that. You're racist. He's got a baseball bat. That is a legitimate threat. That means that you can kick his ass. Why are you racist? Why are you racist? Restaurant owner saying, get the F out of my restaurant. He's fucking racist. He shouldn't be racist. I wouldn't be in here right now if this guy wasn't racist. But this is the world we live in. Oh, it's a Black Lives Matter baseball bat.
So we're going to talk about this Jesus guy. Jesus was not a...
Okay, you should be able to throw his ass out on the ground if he comes into your restaurant and does this.
White man.
This is not freedom of speech. You do not have First Amendment rights in somebody's business.
With blonde hair, blue eyes, and pink lips. His name...
This is the latest thing they're pissed about, I guess.
He was Horus. He was stolen and plagiarized from ancient Egypt and still carved in the pyramids till today. Now Jesus... Good ship Jesus was the first boat that came...
Oh, in the pyramids. Okay, I didn't realize it was the... Do you read hieroglyphics?
Across the Atlantic Ocean that brought the first slaves to America, sent by Queen Elizabeth. That's what Jesus was.
Yeah, can I just get a bagel? Just a bagel with cream cheese. That's all I really want. I don't need a side of whatever the hell you're serving up. Here is Devonair Johnson getting his ass thrown in jail.
Look at bro. Look at this. He didn't do nothing. Is it because he's a leader?
Now, even though he is a douchebag with a baseball bat threatening somebody as they go into a restaurant, listen to all of the victim play by the police or by him against the police.
What is he under arrest for?
Bro, you're supposed to be one of us, bro. Bro, you're supposed to be one of us.
Yo, police officers, please let him go. He was voicing his voice. You cannot...
He was voicing his voice. Don't you know that he was voicing his voice? If you voice your voice, you shouldn't be arrested.
Arrest him for using a megaphone.
Megaphone, voicing his voice.
You cannot arrest him for using a megaphone. Can you?
Megaphone, can you?
No, you can't.
Oh, it gets better.
Hey, call Ebony. You know Ebony's
No, I
number?
don't.
Ebony, call
But
Ebony.
Hey, bro.
Hey, that's his leg. Put him down. Put him down. Put him down.
Yes.
Put him down.
Put him down. He was voicing his voice with a megaphone.
Do you remember me?
Hey, put him down.
Oh, here it gets good. Hold on.
They're trying to kill me.
He's trying to kill him. Okay,
No.
Hold on. He's going to say it. I can't breathe.
A megaphone. A megaphone?
A megaphone. Voicing his voice. Is that like a police labradoodle?
No, do the right thing.
Bro.
Do the right thing. Megaphone.
Hey, record the bro. I appreciate it.
He was using a megaphone.
Megaphone.
That is it. He was using a megaphone.
What an idiot.
Don't talk to the radio. Talk to us.
What am I under arrest for?
Here it goes.
What am I under arrest for?
It's going to get better.
They're hurting me.
Here's the police labradoodle.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. Sure, you can't breathe.
You can't.
Sure.
Lady, you're on his back and his neck.
On his back and his neck. God, just kick that guy's ass. Come on, just kick that guy's ass.
Tell them to chill out.
Let me go.
Oh, we got to have the obligatory, academic white person who feels guilt.
Stop playing with me, bro.
Oh, it's not a police labradoodle. It's hers.
Sir.
You know I don't give. You know I get down. Let me stop playing with me, Gonzalez. Hey,
take a breath.
Yeah, you know what? This shit has to stop. This it has to stop. Hello, Robin. How are you? Glad to have you here. There's a new show on. It's called Cracker. The reason why I'm playing this is because it's nonsense. It's a new movie called Cracker. plans to depict an alternate history in which black people enslaved whites in early America, and that's fine. Director Dale Resteghini released the trailer for the independently funded film on Friday, saying it would be available for purchase on Amazon Prime. This isn't really a take on history. It isn't meant to be anything but provocative and violent and enrage people. And it says in the taglines of the movie, it says things like, "You raped our daughters. What if we raped yours?" Well, my daughter, I never raped anybody's daughter. My father didn't rape anybody's daughter who's African-American. My grandfather, my great-grandfather. All of my family came here after 1900. And so to say that you raped our daughters, and you, first of all, they're not your daughters because you're a guy who's a Dale Resteghini. I'm assuming you're Italian. You've created this movie, and this is meant to be nothing but enraging, to further stoke the violent mob that is happening in America. And honestly, we're done. We're done with this shit, and we've got to be done with this shit. The president is, it's not a Spike Lee joint, Norm. No. It's not even, it's much worse. Here's a trailer to Cracker. And the reason why I'm playing this is because my son is 20 years old, my daughter is 15 years old, and they are not racist. I am not a racist, and I'm sick of this shit. And this is the kind of speech. This is yelling fire in a crowded theater. Here's the trailer to Cracker. This isn't solving anything. This isn't starting a dialogue. You took our breath away. What if we took yours? Okay, well, again, who are you talking to? These are people who lived 170 years ago. You raped our daughters.
Hey, how's it going? Why don't you step out?
What if we raped yours?
Take that off your head.
There's of course, all white people are Nazis.
Sure, that black you are.
Mother Earth, make sure I get my nut. And if she bleeds gold, they should crown me King Tut. Nat King Cole, King Solomon, these nuts. Patricia fucking oil, you get rich when I bust. I'm starting to get dizzy.
Oh, it's like It's a Wonderful Life, but not so wonderful. What if you were never born?
What you looking at, Cracker?
What's your name, Cracker? Michael. Well, you know me.
I have nothing against white supremacists being treated this way, but again, well, there's the rape scene.
Where I come from, this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
There you are, Cracker.
Hold on. We forgot that.
The way it's supposed to be.
We forgot about making it political. There you go, Trump 2020, because we're all racist.
There you are, Cracker.
Yeah, not exactly Tarantino, is it? No, not exactly. Hello, Dave. How are you? Hello, Carol. And, yeah. Let's move on. So in New York, they're apparently firing off fireworks to keep people awake at night. I love fireworks, by the way. I love them. But apparently they're firing a lot of fireworks in New York. By the way, the New York City shootings have surged 358% over the same time last year because they're going to defund the police. Not a really good move by de Blasio. 358% higher than this time last year. Police bad, right? Right. Donald Trump is calling back, well, I'll get to that in a second. Here are some fireworks being fired off in New York. Which is kind of nice. I like fireworks, actually, but at 2 in the morning, not so nice. Looks like helicopter footage, actually. So apparently there have been like firework fights and people blasting off fireworks and a lot of people are losing sleep over it. Well, some people decided to drive by Gracie Mansion de Blasio's house, government, I might say government housing, and they decided to keep him awake since he's not doing anything about fireworks. So apparently the governor has decided to crack down on illegal fireworks because it's keeping people awake. All right. And, of course, the violent mob, they aren't happy with just firing off fireworks. This is some horrifying footage of a homeless man actually being set on fire because apparently in this day and age, this is fine.
Oh, no. Oh!
Nice. Now, by the way, that homeless person apparently was okay. Okay, let's move on to Donald Trump. The D.C. Autonomous Zone. They were going to set up the D.C. Autonomous Zone. Let me go ahead and make sure that I'm streaming. There we are. Hello. Had some buffering issues. Hello, Greg, and hello, Felix. Glad to have you joining me. So they have this autonomous zone going on in Seattle. Okay, so there's the Chaz became the CHOP movement, and so the movement has taken over like 5 city blocks. It's absolutely smelly and awful. The 2 people have been shot, 1 person killed. Oddly enough, a 19-year-old black man killed there. It is a bunch of anarcho-communists. It is the wet dream of the class of 1968. Is spoiled, entitled children deciding to take over areas of cities and demand groceries. So they demand, they come in, they take over. They have no jobs, they have no supplies. They just expect people to show up and support them, like George Soros. Well, in Washington, D.C., they decided to do the same thing that they did in Seattle, and Donald Trump said, yeah, you know what, F that. So here is the National Park Police busting up the supposed, what would have been Chaz. They wanted to call it the Baz, I get, right? Baz, B-H-A-Z. Black House Anonymous Zone is what it was going to be. I was going to say they ought to do one for Hispanics, for Spanish people. So just call it Spaz, because, Spaz, Spanish people too, whatever. Anyway, here's Washington police saying, no camping for you. Wake up, sleepyhead. Wake up, sleepyhead. I know you don't have a job, but you camped out here. But you got to get out, take your little s'mores. Stop smoking your weed. I know it's 8 a.m, but stop smoking your weed. No camping for you. Bye-bye, Spaz, Chaz, Blaz, whatever the hell your name is. No time for this nonsense. Now, of course, the mayor of Seattle has allowed Chaz and CHOP to take over city blocks and carry weapons, and apparently lots of police calls, 1 murder, just in a week. I mean, honestly, how quickly does it take for things to descend into the Lord of the Flies with these anarcho-terrorist communists, Black Lives Matter / Antifa types who don't bathe and crap in the street? Here is the Seattle mayor saying, we're just sick of it. We're just going to take back the city.
But Chief Best has made it clear to me that for the short term, SPD will need the East Precinct to appropriately respond to more than 100,000 911 calls.
Now, wait. Hold on. Literally a week ago, you were saying this was going to be the summer of love in your Chaz / CHOP zone. This was the summer of love. How is it that a 5-block or whatever block area is there over 100,000 police calls in a week? How is that?
SPD will be returning to the East Precinct. We will do it peacefully and in the near future. I'll let Chief Best talk about that further.
Absolutely incompetent moron. Probably will not be removed from office because people in Seattle are stupid. Okay? People in Seattle are stupid. Voters in Seattle are stupid. Yeah, they are. And you know what? Honestly, just enough of this nonsense. Let's go ahead and double check my stream. I'm not talking like, I'm elderly man here and I need to check my stream. But anyway, I just talk about, my streaming on my two different channels. There we go. Okay. All right. So we are on, there you go, Rob Carson Show, and Norm and Glenn and Greg and Chad is joining us now. Chad, not Chaz. So a 19-year-old black man was killed in the Chaz/Chop zone because the mayor of Seattle and the governor of the state of Washington are complete effing morons. And so the police tried to go and save this 19-year-old black man bleeding out on the street in the Chaz/Chop zone, and the police were not allowed to get to him, and so he bled out and died. He's a 19-year-old black man. This is supposedly about black lives, and that one didn't matter. Here is the godmother of the 19-year-old who just graduated from high school. And here she is talking about, the Chaz zone and the mayor.
Your so-called Black Lives Matters protests on the street. Come on now.
Yeah, come on now. Making a mockery of the slogan Black Lives Matter. Radio show host Jason Rance has been our man on the ground outside CHOP on the Chopistani border for us for more than a week. He joins us tonight. Jason, what happened? Do we know?
Well, what we can pretty much piece together from some of the information that's available on Twitter, because remember, as you just played that clip, cops were not able to go in there and the crime scene was disrupted by the protesters.
Casey, a murder happened there. It is a crime scene. The police should be able to respond, but because there are so many effing morons who want to defund the police, this man's life is lost and in vain.
They are trying to do their own investigation. We believe that a fight broke out early Saturday morning around 2:20 a.m., a fight that was apparently over the use of fireworks. And then, unfortunately, it turned into gun violence, leaving a 19-year-old dead, Lorenzo Anthony, I believe his name is, a kid who did not need to die. Unfortunately, cops were not allowed to go in.
But unfortunately, the morons at Chaz chopped. They let it happen.
And in medics, of course, were not able to go in either because they need the protection going into an active crime scene where the shooter or shooters are still...
Honestly, it's time for the children to be spanked. I'm not into corporal punishment, not at all. But these effing morons who have gone in here and who are throwing a massive temper tantrum around the country and doing everything from changing Aunt Jemima's name to wanting Columbus, Ohio's name changed to saying that Eskimo pies are offensive. Honestly, this is all such bullshit. When did you, the last time you heard George Floyd's name mentioned, and when was the last time Minneapolis was shown? The 1,000 businesses damaged or destroyed. When was Minneapolis mentioned? They've moved on into the wet dream of the class of 1968. That's what this is all about. Bronze memorial statue erected in 1876 to honor Abraham Lincoln for the Emancipation Proclamation. Slavery was the way of the world when this country was founded, and it was first made illegal in Connecticut in 1777. So the country has not always been a slave country. Slavery was the way of the world. Slavery is still legal in, or at least happening in 3 African countries in the world, still happening around the world. Chances are maybe even in your neighborhood there's sex trafficking going on. That said, they want to tear down the Lincoln Emancipation statue. Why? Because it's a statue, and it's old. And here are some of the morons there to take it down.
Power to! Power to! Power to!
But us black people, we have to realize that...
I believe it's we black people. I could be wrong.
On the other end of those chains, when we were first captured, those were people who looked just like us.
I guess the same thing could be said. Those Irish people back in the 1800s who built railroads and were discriminated against, that would be my face, I guess. I'm not sure.
No one wants to carry this. No one here created this. You tokenized it. You made it an idol.
Okay, you effing asshole. Do you know who paid for that statue back in 1876? Do you know who paid for it? Freed slaves paid for this statue. Black Union veterans paid for that statue. They did it out of pride because this man brought African Americans off of their knees. This man risked everything. Hundreds of thousands of whites and blacks died to free slaves in this world. And this douche, this with a worthless degree, this worthless degree who's never suffered in his life is saying this needs to come down.
It's disgusting. It has nothing. Say it with me. You will hear us.
And this idiot who can't say anything, he's got to have somebody to reaffirm what he says repetitively. Fortunately, there are a lot of guilty white people there to do it.
Y'all can do better than that. You will hear us.
You will hear us. Clap, 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 clap. White people clap.
Use our
kind of a golf clap. They're a little polite clap.
people for your own political gain.
Out here, we want you to share it. We want you to follow us.
Okay, so they planned on tearing the statue down. They made the mistake of saying it's going to happen tomorrow at 8. It's not going to happen. The president has said, yeah, we're going to send the National Guard out. And it's about time. Enough of this nonsense. Nonsense. Please share this video with others on Facebook and other media. Also, my YouTube channel is called Rob Carson Show. If you do that, it'd be great. Andrea Mitchell was nearly accosted by a transsexual person. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but it appears this guy has a penis. And he's wearing lingerie. And he attempted to attack Andrea Mitchell in the autonomous zone. Here he is going after Andrea Mitchell. I didn't realize that Victoria's Secret had a big and tall section. Now, if you look downward, I'm thinking that could be a pre-op transsexual male. Obviously not very excited to be there. I think I know what Victoria's Secret is now.
What are you doing?
That is a great way. And first of all, why would you wear flats without outfits? Seriously? Seriously? Where are your heels? Andrea Mitchell, in the meantime, saying, where are the police? Literally, she said, where are the police?
Stop assaulting.
Well, the police have been told not to go there, and they're being defunded. This is classic left eating the left. Andrea, why don't you do an insightful interview with the 6'4" transgendered violent guy? Seriously, you need to do a bra fitting and a panty fitting because that is not fitting. Wow. I think Democrats are thinking supporting that is going to work. Not so much. Oh, here are a bunch of a line of Karens. Now, this is interesting because there is a new thing people are calling Karens. These are busybodies who are, they're willing to cry racism. They're willing to do all this stuff. And they are people who are, and I've always said that even since the 90s, I've been saying this, that there are always people who are willing to step up and be offended for other groups. And they're generally white suburban women. And it's true. And it's very true. So when I was in Minneapolis, if I said something that might be offensive to somebody about, Native Americans, I'd say, well, are you Native American? And they said, no, but I know somebody who is. And they were always white suburban women. They always were. I don't know why it is. It's some sort of a helicopter mom thing or whatever. But it appears to be. And they've come up with this new name, and it's called Karen. They're calling these people Karen. Here are a couple of Karens at a Black Lives Matter protest yelling at police in Washington, D.C. And if I was a police officer, dear God.
You don't hit her.
They don't care that we just have cardboard!
Okay, wow.
That's fucking
Can you imagine being married to that?
you! What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, my God!
One of my brothers fucked up. I'm fucking this shit up.
This is the country.
Oh, there's the twin Karen there with a mask on. Karen's twin sister. And there's the idiot there wearing some sort of, I guess, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle book bag. He's probably got his, juice boxes in there.
What's your name?
How the fuck do you sleep at night?
I like you.
Well, I usually take a melatonin, maybe a glass of wine, and just drift off.
You better check your brothers. You know you got a bunch of Aryan Nation boys with you? Huh? You know that? Nah, you ain't know that, did you? Yeah. Look at
Wait. There's a white guy talking black here. Look at that. Listen to that. Hold on. Listen to this guy. He's trying to talk all black and everything.
that? Nah, you ain't know that, did you?
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
Look at their tattoos, bro. Look at their tattoos.
Yeah, look at them tattoos. Yeah. God, I hope somebody kicks their ass. Here's some African Americans actually seeing that some asshole was taking advantage of the situation, as so many have, and robbing someone. Apparently a white person was being robbed by a black person. I'm not saying this has to be racist, but it is the fall of law and order, and this is some people actually stepping up and saying, bullshit. Here's the video.
Hold on. And I'm going live because this is what the fuck black men need to do. This raggedy ass man just robbed this old white man for no reason.
Well, there was a reason he wanted to steal his shit. I love this. This is we need more of this.
And you just robbed that man like that. You bogus as a bitch, sir. And this what we fighting for now. Yeah, my brother chased his bitch ass down the street and made him return all that shit.
I like this woman.
Sit your ass down.
What the fuck? Now embarrass him and humiliate him and make him feel awful. He should feel shame, but I don't think he's capable of it.
Can somebody call the police?
You just lied to me. I should bust in your shit for lying, nigga. I should bust in your shit for lying,
we
nigga.
roll right
Good. Bust his shit.
past you when we seen you robbing him. We seen you.
Money, man.
Give him his money.
Give me fucking money.
Sir,
man.
are you okay?
Love
Are you
this.
okay? Did you call the police?
This fucking money, man.
$900.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
How much you had on?
Here you go, boss.
Is that all you had?
Awesome. White or black, doesn't matter. Person who's doing it, they did the right thing. Hopefully that little douche will go to jail. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Carol. How are you? So Jimmy Kimmel is apparently announcing he's going to take off some time this summer. He's going to be off the TV for a while. Apparently he did blackface, and here's the thing. I don't consider you wearing a costume and impersonating someone to be blackface. All right? Blackface existed a long time ago. It was a way for white actors to keep black actors out of work, and they would wear blackface. It was very common in vaudeville and previous to that. But dressing as someone, as a tribute to someone, or as a costume is not blackface, okay? If I wanted to dress up like, Barack Obama, do you think it would, and I could just walk into a party looking like this with a suit on and say, I'm a Barack Obama? No, you'd have to look the part, and that's not blackface. Maybe that's a tribute to the person. But, of course, if you do anything involved, and I don't know if you heard this, but Mary Poppins has gotten some heat because there were some scenes where the actors from Mary Poppins had charcoal from being chimney sweeps on their faces, and it was called blackface. It's stupid. It's absurd. Here is Jimmy Kimmel. This is when he did a skit, apparently on The Man Show, impersonating Oprah Winfrey years ago. And again, I don't consider this to be blackface. This is satire. This is where he has to dress up like Oprah Winfrey. If he's going to be Oprah Winfrey, he has to have the pigmentation of her skin.
My body is my temple. That's why I start every morning with a brisk aerobic workout. But I can't do it alone. Workouts are easier when you have a partner. My workout partner is my maid, Marguerite. Marguerite's soft brown stomach protects my knees and ankles from unnecessary wear and tear.
Not too much longer, mi sopra, okay?
That means shut up in Spanish.
So that's Steven Crowder talking about that. And whatever it is, The Man Show. I was never a big fan of The Man Show. I thought it was an insult to men's intelligence. We're not all nut-scratching morons. But anyway, that said, The Man Show was very popular for a while there. And again, I didn't think it was terribly smart. women bouncing on trampolines. And listen, I love that, but I'm not really to completely surrender to just watching women bounce on trampolines and whatever. Never a big fan. I guess I grew up a little bit faster than that. I grew up a little, maybe too fast. And I became a father. And, all that stuff. All right. I want to make sure that I have all of my pages up here, guys, if you don't mind, real quick here. So I want to make sure that I'm up. Okay. So anyway, he also did another impersonation, and I was willing to give Jimmy the benefit of the doubt, and because I don't like people being censored. I think if somebody does something offensive, you should have the choice to watch it or not. Okay. Howard Stern did. I mean, he did some really, really effing racist stuff in the early 90s. Really racist. And that kind of went away because Howard is a darling of the media. Howard is the darling of and he's the nation's number one pornographer and racist on the radio. He always has been. I've always never liked Howard Stern. But that said, he's gotten away with it because he's popular. Will Jimmy Kimmel get away with this? I don't know. Jimmy Fallon did an impersonation of Chris Rock 20 years ago. Why did he paint his face black? Because Chris Rock is a black guy. And they were friends. And Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon apologized for it profusely. I don't think he needed to. It wasn't blackface. It was just him dressing up like his friend, Chris Rock, and doing a very nice impersonation of Chris Rock, by the way. Here is a bit that Jimmy Kimmel did about Karl Malone. And, of course, he dressed up like Karl Malone, ex-NBA player, and made him look like really just adult, just a moron. Now, this is where it kind of pushes the boundary of racism.
Sometime at night, Karl Malone look up in sky and say, "What the hell going on up there?"
Okay, now that's bordering on seriously pretty racist.
The UFO live on other planet, phoning home like E.T.? Karl Malone read on TV about white people getting deducted by...
Speaking like Tarzan there.
...alien, sticking all...
By the way, where are the Tarzan? Where honestly, did Tarzan really talk about... Did he really say, Uncle Tom Mangani, did he really say, Tarzan, elephant, bad...
kind of hell up their butt. And that's a damn...
What about Tonto? Did Tonto really talk like this? Or did he say, hey, Lone Ranger, let's go kick some of those bad guys' asses? Or did he really say, Tonto, good, unk?
Hey.
No.
Now, Karl Malone never seen no flying saucer himself, but if he do, that's going to be a...
No, if he do, now that's pretty racist.
Spooky time. That's why Karl Malone say government got to step up and give 102% to keeping them little green man off this here earth. Because the day them dudes stick something up Karl Malone butt, that ain't gonna be no good time for nobody.
There
especially
you go.
Karl Malone.
Okay, that's where it gets kind of racist. And Jimmy Kimmel kind of ceased being funny a while back, and I remember interviewing him in L.A., and he was okay. He just never broke character. He was always kind of a smart ass, and that's cool. And he's my age, and he's Gen X's answer to late night. I don't like people being censored. I really don't. I always say if you don't like what they do or you find it offensive, just turn the damn channel. I will tell you, I don't think he's going to be back in the fall. But who knows? I mean, when you're left of center, you're always forgiven. You're always forgiven. Always forgiven. I think it's about time for me to move on to some other stuff. How does that sound? How does that sound? Hello, Norm. Yeah, I know that Dave Chappelle has impersonated white people. I get it. I understand. But it's different when you're white impersonating or you're black impersonating white people. It just is. There's a double standard. Get used to it. It's okay. I'm just, my thing is I'm just kind of tired of the BS right now. I'm tired of people tearing down statues, and I'm tired of being accused of racism. I'm not a racist, never have been. And you know what? Honestly, I didn't do anything. I had nothing to do with things that happened 170 years ago. I had nothing to do with Jim Crow. I wasn't alive. My family, all of my biological relatives came here after the beginning of the 20th century, and I had nothing to do with it. So shut the hell up, get off your ass, honestly, and claim some sort of responsibility for the failings of yourself. Okay? but all of my friends on Facebook say I'm a racist because I said, personal responsibility has something to do with it too. Let's move on. This is kind of a cool video. I think you'll like this. This is in Georgia. A stray dog has made it his job to protect a kindergarten class when they try to cross the road. Watch this dog. This is a really cool story. Watch this dog. This dog literally will go after cars, bark at them, tell them to stop so these kids can cross. This is a smart dog. There's the teacher. What? Barking at the, hey, man, what are you doing here? We're trying to ask the kids across the street here. That's a smart dog. This is a stray dog. I want to adopt this dog. Dog waits for the kids to go across. This is a smart dog. I think this is a retired TSA dog. Kids go across. There you go. Here comes the car. No, what are you doing? What are you doing? I love this. That is fantastic. I wanted to share that with you. That dog kind of made my day. This is an interesting story. A Chinese man, Mr. Chen from Shaanxi, says that he's been able to stay healthy and walking like this has kept him from getting sick for 3 decades. Here's all you need to do, kids, to be healthy well into your 50s. You just have to walk around like this. I did this last night. I put an umbrella outside on the deck, and I dropped a couple screws. It was not as graceful as this guy. Seriously, I went to Planet Fitness today, and if I would have known I could just spend my life like this, I just canceled my membership. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do that. No. This is interesting. A wheel of death stunt performed on a mountain. Apparently, there's this guy. His name's Ramon Catheriner. And he does you've seen the wheel of death stunt. I saw this actually a few years ago. At a circus, a guy actually fell off of it, and he was okay. But he wanted to pay tribute to those circus performers who are affected by COVID-19. So he did this. There is no way. There is no way I would do that on a cliff. Anyway, there are a lot of ways you could pay tribute to those people affected by COVID-19. Maybe a T-shirt. I don't know. Norm says, let the dog out on the streets near a Chaz. Oh, yeah, that dog would take care of the Chaz protesters. Oh, I got some memes. I want to share some memes. It's in the meme time. These are memes that I've created in the last week that I think you will like. Here we go. Here's number one. Bubba Wallace says, this is straight up a noose. Not. Thank you. That's not. Yeah, okay. Here's another one. Bubba Wallace finds dozen of disposable KKK hoods near his water cooler in the morning. That got me called all sorts of racist this morning on my Facebook page. One guy actually unfriended me because I made that parody because Bubba Wallace said there was a noose in his racing stall, and it wasn't. It was just a door pull. So here's another one. This just in, Bubba Wallace finds a burned cross in his car stall. Of course, that's not. It's a rusty lug wrench. But, of course, that got several people on Facebook to call me a racist because I was making fun of Bubba Wallace and the claim of racism that was proven false, even though the FBI was brought in. Okay, so a man is killed by police in Minneapolis, and because of this, they want to rename Eskimo pies. I know, doesn't make any sense. Here's another one. White privileged West Virginia coal miners busted wearing blackface. Life in 2020. Yeah, they're just coal miners. Just working their asses off, not exactly white privilege. Finally, if Democrats think this will win for them in 2020, they've got another thing coming, and they do. One more story before I go. I thought this was a pretty cool story. This is a young man, and I saw this on the UK Daily Mail. He's Zion Clark. 22. He's from Iowa, wants to be the best freestyle wrestler in the world. This man has no excuses. He doesn't claim that he is somebody else has privilege. All he does is go in every day and live his life and show the world that despite his disability that he is capable of anything. And his mother that adopted him feels the same way. If you feel anybody's keeping you down today, if you feel like your failings are somebody else's fault, I want you to watch this. Because this man is an inspiration.
Being born without legs hasn't stopped me from doing the things that I want to do. People just, they'd make fun of me because I didn't have legs. The best way to deal with haters is to use the hate to lift yourself up. Your haters are your biggest fans, so use that to your advantage.
I'm not seeing a pity party here. I'm not seeing blaming anybody else.
My name is Zion Clark. I was born with a rare condition that caused me not to have legs. I was born with caudal regression syndrome. It is a very rare disease. 1 out of every 100,000 kids are born with it each year. Caudal regression syndrome is a rare disease that can cause a number of abnormalities in a baby. Like, it can be you have a portion of your spine missing, or in my case, I was born without legs. I lived most of my life through foster care up until about 16.
He was in foster care. And this glorious woman came along and said, I don't care what you're born without.
Came into my life when the
Kimberly.
case workers had reached out
God
to
bless
me and
her.
said that they needed a placement for a young fellow. They bring Zion to my home some weeks later. Then it came to a point to where I just knew he was mine, and I just was so in love with him. And I approached him one
God bless her.
day on the couch, and I said, Zion, I know that I'm not your biological mother. And I asked him if I could get to be his mom.
Beautiful.
He said, yes, I want you to be my mom. I was like, well, let's do this. Let's do it.
The relationship with my mom is fantastic. She is the greatest
Come
woman
on,
I know,
man.
you know, and
Glorious.
she wants what's best for me. She wants what's best for me and my sisters. She never once was gonna give up on me. I mean, I was always a troubled kid during school, so I mean, any little thing would make me mad. I just got in trouble for punching lockers or just back talking to teachers, you know. Well, people just, they'd make fun of me because I didn't have legs, so they think I couldn't do something, or they'd be talking to me saying I wouldn't do something, and in turn I'd do it and get in trouble. But then after a while, I just got tired of it, so I'd stop.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine, guys?
Reacting, and I just let them.
You can't
talk, and eventually they started leaving me alone. School wasn't the greatest time for me, but by the time I was a senior, I was able to turn it around and get to college and start doing everything I wanted to do. I started wrestling in 2nd grade. I could just go wrestle for a couple more hours, waste all my energy, and go home and just go.
How do you, I mean, honestly, let's check this out. You got weight classes. You're dealing with people who are a lot bigger than you. How do you do this?
When I was really little, the first few matches, I didn't know what to do, and neither did my opponent. Some kids were scared to wrestle me. I was scared to wrestle them. I didn't know what I was doing. I adapted my wrestling by a lot of trial and error. I spent years figuring out what would work, what didn't work, and there's a lot of things that don't work. But the things that do work, drill them over and over and over again until they're completely flawless.
That's amazing.
Somebody might know I'm doing it, but I'm going to do it anyways, whether they want me to or not.
All right, so I posted the rest of that on my Facebook page. I hope you'll take the time to see it, because I think it's absolutely remarkable and amazing. And amazing. All right, it's about time for me to get out of here, guys. I appreciate you joining me tonight. Make sure to watch my Newsmax TV show this weekend. It's going to run a bunch of different times. NewsmaxTV.com is that. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the nonsense. Tired of the violence. Tired of the looting, tired of the guilt, tired of the bullshit, tired of the entitled class coming in and saying that I am somehow privileged, my children are somehow privileged, making excuses for bad behavior and tearing down our history and our monuments. Tired of it. Done with it. And all of you should be as well. Let's come together, guys. Have a glorious evening. I will see you again soon. Please share on social media, and I'll talk to you again later.